Namaste, angels. It's 3 days after the fact, but I am doing a new moon in Virgo reading. And there's going to be general energy, love energy, and money energy. Oh, and past life. I'm using all four, well, actually, it's five of these decks. So I shuffled them already. I'm going to shuffle them in front of you also. So you can see that whatever comes out is authentic. Beginning with this, which is the past life oracle, and communal living, which is about what it looks like. You know, people living, sharing space, sharing resources, and things like that. And the next card is Asia. So what this means is, in a traditional sense, or according to the book and the deck, is that your soul, like, sort of, if this comes up for you, your soul has some sort of connection to Asia, and it would probably be helpful for you to return or to read what you can and look into what you can to, like, try to jog your memory or your soul's memory, for it to share those memories with you. Those, maybe you have some visions of whatever past life, and you'll be able to piece some things together. And like I said, communal living is about what it looks like. And it says that there was probably a time where you were one of these people that was sharing resources or something, and you may still have those kind of mannerisms or behaviors, or to the contrary, because you had to share stuff, you might be like a hoarder now. Like, I need to have stuff because there was a time when there wasn't enough and all that. But honestly, together, I'm picking something up about the coronavirus, not because I consider it an Asian virus. Let's be very clear, because I absolutely do not. I think that's disgusting. But because our first, or most of the world's first knowledge of it did start with Asia. I think that they're using these two cards to show me that, there will be more people trying to share resources, unfortunately, like waiting on food lines. And, well, right now we have the stimulus package. That's sharing resources. That's the government printing money, basically, so that it can dole out services and support relief to a number of Americans. I think, unfortunately, there'll be more of that, is what I'm being shown here. And maybe something notable that, like, we'll notice over the course of, like, between now and the full moon in Libra at the end of the month. So let me shuffle these. Okay. So far, all the cards that I've seen while I was shuffling until now had been in reverse, so I wasn't mentioning anything about them. Male, female is a card that tends to mean, like, if you're a female now, there is likely a past life where you were the male, and vice versa. If you're a male now, you probably used to be the female before, in a given partnership or connection that your soul has in present day. All right, back to Asia is as our overall energy, and the next card is in reverse. These are the abundance oracle, hoping that you guys can get some guidance as to how to deal with your finances, how to plan, what moves are best to make right now, given the current situation of things, and what you should maybe avoid doing as it relates to your finances. We're starting with face your financial fears. So that can mean to go for it, as far as like a business or a new job or something is concerned. When you're honest with yourself about your fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. Like, yeah, everybody goes through it. No more complaining. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never true spiritually. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. and conscious consumer. You have the power to heal and to help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest in fair trade and organic goods. You live simply and you purchase only that which you need. So with this card, like for example, I live in the north, but my family's from the south, and when I'm there, if I was there right now, I would not be shopping at Kroger, because Kroger chose to close some of its stores, and this is not the first time, but they chose to close some of its stores rather than to pay its workers another $5 per hour, those that are qualified for hero pay. And I think that's disgusting. So I would not give them my money. I don't shop at Walmart. Like, I boycott Walmart. I could be the only person boycotting Walmart. It would not bother me. But I do so because of the Walton family that owns it. They're like richer than God, as they say, and also mistreat their laborers. Their laborers, their workers. They support foreign slave labor, all that kind of stuff. I can't deal with it. A lot of their workers are on like food stamps and Medicaid because they don't pay them enough. So they have to also go to the government for supplemental, benefits and things, which is disgusting with the kind of money that they make. I had been boycotting Amazon and Jeff Bezos and Whole Foods, and I'm sorry that I have to like get stuff from Amazon sometime because of the I live in New York, and we got hit pretty hard with the pandemic, and there's like nothing on the shelves. I mean, right now there is, but that we've been through these times of that communal living card where everybody was desperate for the same stuff. So I've had to survival of the fittest. I had to give in on that one. But things like that. Chick-fil-A, they're racist, they're homophobic. I would never eat there. Again, even though my family's from the South, I grew up largely in the South. Spending months at a time with my grandmother and stuff. I would not be caught dead in there. You get the idea. Conscious consumer. Like, even if you consider yourself, to be somebody that doesn't have a lot, of money or resources or whatever, you still have it within your power to choose how you use what you do have. Declutter. You'll feel better and more focused if you take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. So this is also something that we've been doing in my house. My daughters wanted to change some things up, switch some things up. So we've been giving a lot of our material items like clothing and things to the homeless by way of Goodwill and the Salvation Army. This past weekend, we washed a bunch of comforters, like down comforters and stuff. We just have so many. My daughters tried to go outside and hand them to a homeless person, didn't find one, so now they're in my car waiting to go to Goodwill. It's stuff like that. And when you clean out and, you end up with more space, and, you can at least feel like you're helping somebody or humanity. All right, that's the last one that's up, right? So we're going to shuffle these. Consider those others just like beginning messages or messages on the side or whatever. Speaking of conscious consumer, it was actually several years. One summer I decided I was not going to buy sandals, if I couldn't find any that were not made in China. I didn't want sandals made in China. Again, with the slave labor and stuff. So our overall energy here is gratitudeless. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who you are grateful for right now, or what and who are you grateful for right now, rather. Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of this universe. So I was like determined to find sandals that were not made in China. It was quite difficult, honestly. And so I ended up going about 3 years without sandals. The sacrifices we make, right? All right, so I started not to use these cards. I started not to do the reading right now because I have a brand new deck of these. So those who've been watching me for a long time, you know that I have several copies of each of my decks, and I use them until they can't be used anymore, until the wheels fall off, as they say, because I am a real reader and a real psychic, and so I put my energy into them, so they're not just pieces of paper anymore. They stop being pieces of paper like from the moment I started to use them. So I use them until I can't, and then I give them to somebody. People appreciate them even though they look like that, because again my energy's in them. So anyway, I have a brand new deck, but I was like, okay, it's already 3 days past the date. I have this opportunity to do the reading. The way YouTube works, the people that watch me now are people who have been watching me for the most part. They know it. They get me. They it doesn't matter for them. They'll be fine with these, and they'll understand. And new people, I guess, just know I have a brand new deck, but I didn't want to wait any longer to do the reading, so I didn't feel like going through my drawer to find them. We're starting with pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. I haven't used these in a long time. Probably because they do look like this. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. And this could be the one you've already met, the romantic partner you seek. Overall energy is playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And lastly, this combination of the animal and angel tarots. It's 2 decks that I mixed up together. And we're starting with the Knight of Cups, who is romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. When the Knight of Cups shows up, for me, it's often somebody returning to your life. This may be someone for whom you've been waiting for quite some time, or they've been waiting, to make a move, or for maybe you to reach out to them. When the 7 of Pentacles showing up, which is a card, largely about patience and put your effort into something, and the fact that after that you're supposed to have faith and trust that it will blossom, right? The planting resources and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. And there could have been some feelings of being conflicted over, should I make a move? Should I not make a move? Should I release this person? Should I keep fighting or whatever? Also, this can be about having conflict with another person, close friends and or family members, or competition, like maybe several suitors or several people applying for the same job or trying to get credit for the same project at work, and so on and so forth. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. And lastly, the 8 of Cups. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. Maybe moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you are in control. And these cards will give us the general energy. We'll give them a mix up. I just randomly tossed the cards we looked at back into the deck, and now we're mixing them up a whole bunch again. The weekend readings, I don't know what Jewish month I said was starting, but on the 14th. It was the 14th that was the day that I did the reading. And you guys know I do all this stuff off the top of my head. Anyway, I don't remember saying Nissan, which is the head of months, the first month, and this is a month of spring. I don't know. I don't remember saying Nissan, but that's the appropriate month. Nissan started on the 14th for the year 5781. Speaking of earth energy and spring and what I called the month of trees. The month of trees. That is what I said, right? That is Shavat. That's Shavat. January, February, I think. That we already passed. Yes. Nisan is the month of barley, like time to harvesting barley or something. And it is also called the head of months, the first month of the ecclesiastical year. Anyway, I don't know why that came out just now. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. This was the overall energy in the daily reading that I did for today too. So very interesting. I'll go ahead and lay these. Begin with divine being or couple. You can look at it for you and your mate, or for you by yourself, your mate by themselves. Recent past, near future. Masculine's higher self. Let me move these over a little bit. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Isn't it funny how even though I mixed them up and there's two decks, like all these cards are from the same deck? Like, what are the odds? What the feminine can do to help herself, with said block. The masculine can do to help himself. And what the universe wants to help us do to help ourselves. And the outcome. So that's for the general energy. Money, love, everyday sort of situations can all come up with these. Again, the past life, things that may be affecting us. So far we have overall energies of the 10 of Pentacles and Asia. Add gratitude list to that list. And lastly, playfulness. I feel like I should have laid these first. So we've got general, then money, then past life, then love. All right, divine being or couple. The Four of Swords. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers that you seek. And some of the answers that you seek could be about culture, heritage, connection to the ancestors. Maybe you want to look into your DNA. We've been getting messages like that about Native American heritage in particular for a long time on my channel. Four of Swords can also be about needing a break, needing to take some sort of rest, or like planning to, maybe even planning a trip or something. For the from the Abundance Oracle, I don't know why I got tongue-tied, sorry. Spending time in nature helps you to shift your higher vibration and reminds you of God's infinite abundance. Go outside and enjoy a walk or a hike with your pet. Meditate. So we have two cards that are guiding us to meditate. Meditate beneath a tree. garden, sit under the stars, or do some other activity to connect with the limitless vastness. So both the Four of Swords and bountiful nature, and perhaps Native American. I mean, they are definitely practitioners of holistic medicine and meditation and things, all telling us to meditate on what it is we're trying to either figure out, get clarity on, or draw near us through the law of attraction. Lastly, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So I think that this pile, the one that most directly represents the divine being, each of us, and or our partnerships, our relationships with our partner, is about manifestation. Right? All four of those cards are about some sort of focus on something. A focused intention is meditation, is prayer, and that is how we go about and drawing things near us. And the focused intention also needs to be positive. So that's why I said that. Recent past. The Nine of Spring, which is a card that tells us to keep going even though when we feel we're down and out. Right? We're just about to the finish line. So keep going. You've worked hard and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. And that is partnered with Celtic. And I'm not sure that this recent past is the past yet. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. So that could definitely be why this is showing up. I just got something about the connections. Like I was saying, look into your DNA for the Native American. Native American is what would help me to hear the message. But, I think it goes for other cultures as well. Some of us may be surprised to learn something about ourselves in connection to Celtic culture. In the near future. And traditionally, of course, the same thing I said about Asia, these kind of cards to tell us that our soul longs to return to something, maybe Scotland or Ireland, because we've been there before. Something else is trying to come through. If it does, I will share it, of course. And with the cards, we're getting quiet. With the Abundance Oracle, we're getting quiet retreat. So again, this guidance toward meditation. And Celtic is also very green and makes me think about greenery. Those countries are very green, a lot of fields and things. And maybe that's what we're meant to do, be out in the fields and flowers doing meditation. This also got these birds in here. I talked about birds this week too in the love reading and how I've been seeing them and how I expect other people will be seeing them. And then sure enough, I got an email that somebody had. Anyway, it's time to disconnect from the outer world. So that also maybe partly connected to this. Remember, this card is about the need to take a break, maybe even plan a vacation or something. Time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. So you may very well want to do that outside. And as far as your love life, love yourself first. But this is self-love, right? Taking a break and pulling away so that you can figure things out and get clarity, that's self-love. So it goes perfectly with that. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive to other people too. So there's this an added benefit. Near future. What do we got coming up? By the full moon in Libra. The Sun, Major Arcana card 19. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. Some of us may actually travel someplace, and it may be someplace with a sunny climate specifically. The Major Arcana card, the Sun, most directly represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. So a Sag can be particularly significant during this time too. As can the date, the 19th, maybe. That's the feast day of St. Joseph. the 19th and falls within this period. So that can mean something for somebody. We get release jealousy, and we also got past life relationship. So I think these two could, I mean, this is like a more of a general thing. It's affecting your finances and stuff, this jealousy of yours, but I think they may be tied. This is tied to this past life relationship. You've known each other before. Jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. So this is another card also that's talking about the manifestation and the meditation and stuff, and our need to be positive in doing that. So far that is like the focus, or what this Virgo Moon guides us to do. And that makes sense, right? It's pentacles, it's earth, so it's material, it's finances. Makes a lot of sense. Masculine's higher self, he's got some sort of fear happening with him. 9 of Swords. Your worries and fears aren't real, though. They're fueled by focusing on the negative instead of... Oh, we got 3 things here that tell us to talk. 3 piles. Focus on the positive. You're focusing on the negative, masculine, and that gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. You may be worried about his love life. And why might he be worried about his love life? Codependency. Sounds like he's in a toxic situation. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So this codependency card, even though it's in the romance angels, for me, it can be different kinds of addictions or different kinds of codependencies. It can be, of course, toxic relationships, codependent relationships, but it can also be, somebody has an addiction to drugs, sex, alcohol. All these things can get in the way and sort of shape our existence, at least temporarily, as a person, and affect our love life and our life in general. And certainly that would be considered disorganized, right? To be sort of in a sunken place, suffering from some sort of addiction. And to be successful, you need to get organized, masculine. Do not let the word organize intimidate you, though. It's simply a way for you to ensure clarity of purpose. Organizing your thoughts, your reports, your living space, your workspace, and your finances will help you to know and plan your next action steps. Blocks to individual or shared progress. So our individual progress as a person, or our couple as a couple, our partnerships, lack of progress. We have the 4 of Wands. It's time to kick back, relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. So it's telling us how we can get to a place of happiness, like what we need to do in order to get there. From the past life oracle, we got knighthood. So this card says, like, once a knight, always a knight. And I've done readings how I definitely believe that a bunch of us were knights, specifically Templar knights. But you can look at that reading. It's a separate video on the Templar knights. But what this card says is, like, you are constantly, like, sacrificing yourself to protect others. The 4 of Spring can be about your home, your household, family members, or whatever. So it's possible that you spend your time, like, looking out for other people, and so your own personal life is halted. It's sitting here next to the Love Yourself First card. So it's like you're not doing that. Like, you're loving other people before yourself and putting other people before yourself all the time. Because again, once a night, always a night. Like, it's like you can't shake it. But that's a block for you. It's holding you back. Or for us, act like I'm not included. As far as money is concerned, savings. This too is about putting yourself first. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is part of your self-care. and your path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. So this too is about putting yourself first, not your home, not your, your household, your family members, your friends, you, not your partner, your romantic interest, you. And have some heart to heart conversations with people. Maybe you got to honestly say, listen, I gotta set aside a few bucks for myself, guys. I can't keep giving you all my money, or whatever the situation is. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay, so what the feminine can do to help herself. And specifically with this block, what's up? We got the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, main message is always self-care. Like, not to forget to take care of yourself while you're taking care of other people. It's a very motherly energy, a very feminine energy. And so she knows you're going to take care of other people. It's like instinct, but she reminds us to take care of ourselves too. The Queen of Cups is most directly a Scorpio, but can also be a Cancer or a Pisces or someone likened to those traits or attributes that's not a water sign at all. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Listen to this part. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. How perfect is this card for what you can do to help yourself with the block? Let's see what else we got. Angels. So this is about paying attention to your intuition, guidance that comes through, and also knowing that you are protected, you're not alone. But even the scriptures say, like, prayers without works is dead. Like, you got to take action too. You got to do what you're being guided to do for yourself also. Release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool that you can use to better the world. Like I said before, like, even if you feel that you don't have much money, you still are in control of how you use what you do have. And so there are ways that you can better the world even with little funds. It's guiding you to do that. How can you better the world? Once you shift your mind to that, then you'll feel a shift. This shift will help you to attract and support golden opportunities. Lastly, give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. That can be part of your self-care too. Maybe you're, constantly putting your energies everywhere else and not taking enough time, first and foremost, again, for the relationship you have with yourself, but then for any, partnerships that you have, romantic relationships and things, or interests. You're not putting enough effort into them. What the masculine can do to help himself, we got unity with Archangel Sandalphon. Traditional viewpoint, unity is the Hierophant, by the way. Major Arcana card 5 represents the sign of Taurus, most directly. Traditional viewpoints or methods. Spiritual organizations seek out mentors and like-minded friends. This sort of came up in the readings that I did over the weekend, like the need to be surrounded by people of a likened vibration to our own, or one that's higher than ours, from whom we can learn something, as opposed to continuing to feed ourselves with things that detract from us. Also, you got authority figures here. And it's funny, when I was looking at the higher self, I was like, oh, he needs to be organized. He needs like emperor energy. And then the emperor is definitely like an authority figure to me. I think it has a different meaning here, though. I think it can be talking about people that you see as like authority figures. Sometimes it's our parents. It can even be like a maid or something like that. If our soul has experienced or had a not so great experience with authority figures, which is usually what it means for this card to show up, we could, in this present life, have still a problem with authority figures that can cause us to be avoidant and passive. Like, for example, let's say I look at my parents as authority figures, and so whatever they say or do to me, I guess I'm thinking about parents maybe, because that came up this weekend too in the love reading, the masculine in particular, like listening to his mother and finally sort of being over that. But say I listen to my parents. I do everything that they say. And this is even if I don't believe them to be right. I like maybe go against my own better judgment or my own instincts or even intuition because I have like this fear of I don't want to piss anybody off. And that can be it makes sense that this is showing up here in terms of what he can do to help himself. Maybe he is catering to other people more so than himself because of some sort of like fear that his soul is holding on to of what he considers authority figures. So like I don't want to ruffle any feathers, I don't want to piss anybody off, I don't want to cause any trouble, so I'm just going to be walking around very passive and giving in to everybody and sacrificing myself like a lamb for everyone else's happiness and stuff. So stop doing that, masculine. That's what you can do to help yourself. Also, take a divinely guided chance. All right. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk. And you're ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories as you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar, but no longer appropriate for you. Maybe it is toxic. It is a codependent relationship. It is unhealthy. You are being sacrificial, where for other people, right? That's toxic. So leave that behind. Maybe it was a great relationship at one point. It is no more. And that will allow you to make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. And this can be in your, familiar relationships and your friendships, with your work, in terms of leaving something behind, romantic, whatever. Something that worked before for you may have turned unhealthy or inappropriate for you in some way, codependent, and it's time for you to leave it alone. And that is supported by your romance angel card for this placement as well. Deception. Someone's wearing a false self mask in this relationship. It could be you, right? You could be wearing this mask of happiness and joy and you're faking the funk because you're not, right? Because you're again sacrificing yourself. What the universe wants us to do and wants to help us with our confidence and our esteem and just doing what we're meant to do, right? Burning up the place, setting the world on fire. The Queen of Wands, she is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. They go the birds again, right? Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So definitely the universe wants us to get over codependence and assert our independence. Instead, maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle between independence and codependence at interdependence and learn how to work with others in a healthy way. The Queen of Wands is an Aries, Leo, a Sagittarius, most directly a Leo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And that's the second time that fire energy came up because the sun is here too. And as I mentioned, that is a Sagittarius. Also, universe wants to help us with karmic relationships. I guess whether toxic or healthy, all relationships technically are karmic. In this sort of on this journey, in this sort of belief system, people that believe in soulmates and twin flames and divine unions and all that kind of stuff, they've sort of created a derogatory term, the karmic, for the negative relationship. But really, karmic just means of the universe and containing a lesson. So healthy relationships can be karmic too. And that's why you see these people look super happy. The universe wants to help us one way or another with karmic relationships. Also, cooperation instead of competition. What's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. So even in a situation of communal living, for example, we can all be all right. All have enough. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. That's also going to require a healthy partnership. And lastly, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, but it's not just your parents. It's funny that I mentioned parents before, like a moment ago, right? But it's not just your parents. It's any and everybody that you care about so much that they can affect your life and your love life. So if that's a friend, a sibling, a parent, whoever that is, um, that's who you need to work it out with. And then the forgiving doesn't necessarily mean, being befriending or continuing a relationship with. I often say sometimes you have to accept the apologies you're never going to get. Sometimes you don't even have to speak to these people anymore again to forgive them. It's about you releasing it so you don't run up your pressure, give yourself a heart attack or a stroke or whatever it is. You let go of like the nasty negative energy. And the outcome, let's see what we got. We got, this is interesting. We got the devil, Major Arcana card 15, a false sense of entrapment. Being overly focused on material things. Check, check. And negative or fear-based thoughts. Yep, all three of those have come up all throughout the reading. Check, check, check. So what are we going to do about it? We have this. This is one of the situations that we are pretty sure to experience. What are we going to do about it? You can fix it with all the stuff we talked about already. The devil in the tarot most directly represents the sign of Capricorn. So it can also be something with that. The card from the past life is mother. Just like I said over the weekend, the masculine in my other reading, my love reading, masculine had an unhealthy relationship with his mother. So that may be with whom the karmic relationship is, and for a good bit of people that are going to get this message or resonate with it, and that may be with whom you need to heal the relationship. Otherwise, this card is actually meant to be positive in this deck. It means that if you and your mother have, or it says that if you and your mother have a like a decent relationship now in this lifetime, she's probably somebody that you brought with you from a past lifetime. She wasn't necessarily your mother before, but you were tied somehow before, and so you made an agreement to come into this lifetime together as well. Another outcome that looks very positive, it's partnership. Allow healthful, supportive partnerships into your personal life and career. So this is also telling us to chuck the unhealthy ones and to allow healthy ones, and both parties benefit as a result. You are receiving help from heaven, remember the angels, and from a person who brings needed skills and resources. Lastly, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And that may be the way entree into a partnership. For our advice, I'm getting it from my Egyptian Sibylla cards. These are other cards that I meant to shuffle at the beginning again that I did not. We're starting with the Ace of Hearts. Which, as you can see, is a very positive card. It kind of is like the Ace of Cups. And I've opened to Nut, Isis's mother, who's the goddess of like the universe and the moon. So that's appropriate for this moon reading. Ace of Hearts. The King of Clubs. That's the King of Clubs, Wands. The King of Wands. That's the leader, maybe the authority figure. Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Pentacles. And I'll do one more. It is the Seven of Spades. That's the Seven of Swords. That can be about deception, unhealthy relationships, somebody trying to take what's yours. It can also be about lack of confidence and esteem. And so, like, we could take what's ours from ourselves. Like, we could rob ourselves of opportunities when we lack confidence and faith. All right, overall energy. The Five of Pentacles here. or actually 5 of diamonds. And this card is about the need to pull away from other people and take a break, take some time to yourself. And then we've got like a 6 of wands kind of card. And even though clubs represent wands, this looks sort of like the 6 of pentacles, especially with him pulling in, like, he's caught something that looks like it's of value with his net here and his fishing. So the 6 of wands is a card of success and reward and victory. And the 6 of pentacles is a card of like about equity and equality and like gifts showing up from the universe, maybe through another person, sort of like an earth angel, when somebody does something or something happening like right on time. I use the example sometimes, like you're in the grocery store and they tell you how much it is and you pull out all your money and suddenly you can't find some, and then you look down and there's a dollar, the last dollar that you need, or maybe there's $100 bills and that's what you need to pay your bills, and then right in the nick of time you were saved and you're able to pay your grocery tab. That's what the 6 of pentacles represents. It's sort of like this right on time assistance from the universe. It can be credit or money, meeting the right person, like that can help you into doing something else, like really valuable advice or some sort of support that you need. And so the 6 of clubs in this Egyptian Sibylla deck is probably most like the 6 of pentacles, because it's about a surprise. Like he pulled that thing in unexpectedly. He wasn't expecting to find this golden shield in the water, so it was a surprise. So it's about something coming. Something is on its way to us that we're not expecting, and it's going to be a very pleasant surprise, is what that message is. So now, specific to the masculine only, your card is the Queen of Clubs. And for the advice, I'll actually read them for the book. And ours isn't as exciting, feminine. Our card is the 9 of Spades. All right, it is what it is. I'm going to read them. The Queen of Clubs. Maiden, a gardener. Sincerity and good feelings. A woman interested in is interested in us for love or genuine affection. The charm of this woman may be magnetic or physical, or dependent on the affection that we feel. We mustn't let ourselves be guided by her hand for too long, as the relationship created must evolve while maturing. So you have to just like let it happen naturally or not, is what the message is. Advice. This is advice from the book, not from me. A bit of advice, perhaps too simple and banal, is given by the Maiden card. Try to be truly genuine, deep down, but without planning the moment. Again, it needs to be organic. It needs to unfold naturally. Otherwise, there will be no spontaneity, and you will find that the exercise is anything but easy. Best wishes. And the 9 of Spades. I'm doing pretty good, like opening right to them. I open to the 10 of Spades. Jail. Babylonian prisoner. Stagnation and the inability to be strong and free. This is about feeling stuck. Our prison is almost always in our mind and rarely a physical place or real constraint. Seeking counsel and help from those stronger than you is a necessity. We may sacrifice and sweat a lot, but in the end, liberation will come. Advice. Here is a truly useful piece of advice. Keenly observe the places that make you sad or the people who oppress you and take away your freedom. You must do so with concentration and honesty. So that's what I was talking about here for the masculine. It's funny that this is the masculine's card and this is the feminine's. Why is it so important? Because most of these situations were caused by you. Yeah, because we allow people to do that to us, right? To get us to this point where we're giving them more of us than we give us. So avoid that for the next period. For those who want to stick around, I'm finally going to go over, since this reading is running so long already as it is, I might as well just do it. I'm finally going to go over the what it means for Mercury to be, or to have entered Pisces this week, and also what's up with my laptop here? Also go over the planetary calendar. So I'm just signing on. Can you hear it? Boop! You just heard my laptop come on. Okay. So, Mercury in Pisces. This is from www.tarot.com. Mercury in Pisces. Creative, intuitive, and magical. The transit is from March 15th, so yesterday, through April 3rd. When Mercury enters the fantastical sign of Pisces, our dreams become more vivid, our thoughts are looser, and our instincts are especially strong. Mercury is the mental planet that rules our thoughts and communication style. While this focus on data and details doesn't naturally align with Pisces' widespread, all-inclusive style, there are so many ways to enrich our lives during this transit. Pisces thrives in a world of magic, fantasy, and idealism. While Mercury is here, our minds are more open and we find solutions in places that we've never considered before. Mercury in Pisces shines a light on the furthest reaches of our minds to illuminate fresh ideas, creative inspirations, and a different way of thinking. Our minds are never open as wide as they are during Mercury in Pisces. Pisces thrives in the most vast spaces that you can imagine. Think about the unbelievable depths of the ocean or the infinite reaches of space. These are Pisces realms. So while Mercury moves through this sign, our minds are expanded to this same level of vastness. We can see things that we couldn't see before and understand things that we couldn't understand before. It's no surprise that some thoughts we have during this transit are beyond words. Our ability to communicate becomes fuzzy here, and some of the things that are happening in our minds are just too big to find words for. This is where our intuition comes in. Pisces is the most intuitive sign of the zodiac. So says you. And it reminds us to pay close attention to the feelings we have in our minds. We know things in ways that we can't explain because our subconscious is being triggered more than usual while Mercury is in Pisces. Of course, there are also some cons to Mercury in Pisces. Miscommunication is possible, and we may have trouble staying on track. We might forget critical details or show up late for meetings or say things that don't quite make sense. This is because we're speaking from the heart and gut, not our brains. Finding the words to match our feelings can make for some seriously stop and start conversations. But overall, Mercury's time in Pisces can bring amazing new opportunities our way. There are no limits during this transit. We're open to all possibilities so we can easily embrace the things that are suddenly inspiring us. The level of promise and potential is high here because we're not focusing on the things that we can't do, but the things that we can do. It goes on to talk about what it means for Mercury retrograde to be in Pisces, and if you were born with Mercury and Pisces in your own chart. Again, I found it on www.tarot.com. And what else was I going to talk about? The month of Nisan. I can do that from www.shabbat.org. Nisan is the first month of the Jewish calendar, according to the Torah. It coincides with March and April on the civil calendar, or the Gregorian calendar. The Torah calls it Kodesh HaAviv, the month of spring, as it marks the beginning of the spring months. On the first day of Nisan, in the year 2448 from creation, or 1313 BCE, that's the year that Moses died, 2 weeks before the Exodus, God showed Moses the crescent new moon, instructing him regarding the setting of the Jewish calendar and the mitzvah of sanctifying the new moon. This month shall be for you the head of months, the first month of the year. That was a quote, and that's in Exodus 12:2. This ushered in the first Jewish month and commenced the lunar calendar that Jews have been following ever since. It was the first mitzvah or commandment given to the newly born nation of Israel, even before the exodus from Egypt. So it goes on to talk about Passover and counting Sapphira and all of these things. Some of you may have heard of Sapphira if you're not familiar with the tarot and the Jill Scott song, A Long Walk, right? Anyway, I remember what I was going to tell you about the mitzvah. So maybe it was Nissan that I mentioned last week. I just don't feel like I talked about Nissan. Anyway, whether I did or I didn't, I was saying that it was a good time to perform mitzvah, right, or to do these works. So in the Jewish tradition and in the tarot, mitzvah is considered commandments, and it's like from the original Old Testament and or Torah. There were, guess how many? 613 or 19 mitzvah to be performed, or commandments to follow. And again, this month, well, whatever month I was talking about, but this month too, especially with all the high holy days, is a great month to look to, be performing that. So to just do good works, right? It's a particularly good month to do good works. Not that any time isn't, but this is just like especially a good time to do what you can toward humanity, just like our reading said. So on that note, I'm going to go to what else is going to happen before the Libra full moon. I don't think there's much in terms of planetary transits. So we just talked about Mercury having entered Pisces. That was yesterday at 6:26 p.m., 0 degrees Pisces. On the 20th at 5:37 a.m., the sun enters Aries, 0 degrees Aries. On the 21st at 10:16 a.m., Venus enters Aries. So Venus will be there. The sun will be there. I guess shortly after, the moon will be there. But also Chiron is there and has been there for like over a year. So Venus enters at 0 degrees Aries. Right now, both Venus and Mercury, both of Gemini's rulers, are in Pisces. So that's interesting too, for us Geminis. Also on the 21st at 10:40 a.m., we'll experience the first quarter moon, 1 degree Cancer. The 23rd at 4:07 a.m., Pluto will be quintile Chiron, speaking of Chiron. The 28th at 2:48 p.m. is that full moon in Libra, 8 degrees Libra. So that's what else we have to look forward to until then. Hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I try to answer all the comments, respond to all the comments, whether they are actual like statements and comments or they are questions. I try to answer them if you ask me questions. And I ask that if you are going to subscribe, first of all, I appreciate it, of course, but please do hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that hopefully you receive your notifications. Thanks again. Namaste.